Добрий день, Florian. Як справи?
Дякую.
I'd like to ask you some questions about your visit to Odessa, about your study of Ukrainian here, your experience, your advice to the students or people who want to visit us. Can you answer me some questions, please?
Of course I can. I'm happy to do so.
Some questions, yes. And
Yeah.
this is not your first time in Odessa. Yes, how did you feel here this winter? And what was in summer? The difference between this?
No, it was not my first time in Odessa. I've been in Odessa in August, September. I think in July I've been also in Odessa last year. Now it's February, March, and I stayed for a couple of weeks in Odessa to learn Ukrainian with you. And of course, Odessa is a city for the summertime, but it is also nice in the winter time. It's probably a bit more quiet because the people are more inside. But still, if you're going out on the weekend in the city garden in the city center, you have the bands playing there in the cold with the people cheering and singing, and it's a nice atmosphere in Odessa in this time of the year also.
Yeah. What's your favorite place in Odessa?
Oh, there are so many. Of course, the city center overall, the whole part of the old city, with all the ancient buildings and the culture and the historical sites and stuff like that. Of course, the beaches and the restaurants and bars near the beaches. But I also like the areas, somewhere between the old city and Arcadia, French Boulevard, or all these roads, leading out of the older city. It's a very pleasant stay there.
Mm-hmm. And what about theaters? Was concerts here? Did you visit them summer or now?
Of course, I visited the Opera House twice, and I've been to the Philharmonic building. It was not a concert; it was a performance by Jiri Sadan a couple of months ago there. And I've been to museums and places like the Academy of Science and so on. So it's a lot of things to see and to do and to get into the history of the places and into the background of Odessa heritage development and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. And we say this Odessa is a city of possibilities. You can go there, here, there to visit, like as you said, theaters, cinemas. What is else? What my student told me once? The city of possibilities, of open perspectives. Yes, for many people. He might say about the business here. What do you think about that? Not only
Yes,
to
yeah,
attend tournaments.
I can agree on that. I'm from Hamburg, and we have the same kind of strategic approach because we are both cities with a big port, and this is very important for an open mind and open doors to the world and stuff like that. And I can see that Odessa is a city of opportunities, quite big opportunities. It is a diamond in the region, so it will flourish one day. But of course, the opportunities now are kind of limited to what the war is allowing you. But I think once this, sorry to say that this shit is over, it Odessa will become a booming city.
Mm-hmm. Is it dangerous here now for you? What did you feel?
I don't feel I don't feel to be in danger when I'm in Ukraine, because you just follow the people and you realize where the safe places and the behavior for safety, how it looks like. So you quickly learn and adapt. And of course, it is not funny to have the shellings at night. That's not a question, but
it's not funny. It's not funny.
No.
Okay. Entertainment. One more entertainment here. Yeah.
Yes.
Shellings.
But it is, it is what it is, and happily enough, I wasn't harmed yet, and I was always in a safe place. So, and I pray for everybody that it stays like that.
And you learned Ukrainian here, and but the language environment in Odessa is mixed. It's an international city. Lots of nationalities are here. They speak different languages. Of course, Ukrainian, of course, Russian. But did you have a possibility to practice in Ukrainian?
Of course, I had my practice in Ukrainian. I went to the Renok, to the marketplace, and tried to buy 6 eggs, and happily got handed over 60 eggs. So I had to give back 54 of them, which wasn't pleasant for the lady, but yeah. So my language skills have to improve, but it is a great place to learn the language. Because the people in Odessa are talkative, so they talk to you. If you talk to them, they talk to you.
Communicable, yeah.
Yeah, they're communicating, and they're open, and they're interested in who you are and where you come from, and stuff like that. So it's an easygoing place to learn in English, to learn a language.
So your advice to the students, for future students, to learn numbers very well, yeah. not to mix numbers. 6 and 60.
And, yes, and to pronounce Americano bez moloka correctly, because otherwise you get your Americano
z molokom. But they don't speak English in Odessa.
Of course, some people speak English, and of course they want to help you and switch to English when they realize that your Ukrainian is kind of bumpy. But of course, stick to the Ukrainian language, and you get through.
I heard that story about you were in Privoz and started to find something. Yes, what's your favorite food in Odessa?
Oh, favorite food. There are many favorite directions of food in Odessa, very many. So the Odessan foods like tulka, which is of Forsmark, which is kind of special in Odessa. But you also have the national Ukrainian food like pelmeni, vareniki, and so on. You have in Odessa the specialty from the Korean inhabitants, Korejska morkva, for example, and this kind of direction, fermented vegetables, very delicious. And of course, you have the Georgian kitchen and Bessarabian kitchen and so on. So there's a whole variety for you to go.
What about German kitchen?
Actually, I don't know. I didn't look for it because I'm not in Odessa to have German kitchen.
Штрудель, мабуть, штрудель.
Yeah, there's strudel, but strudel is Austrian. It's not so much German.
Ага.
But you're right. At the bus station, number 3, I think, on Danam 3, there is a strudel bakery, for example. Yes, a very good one.
Was it tasty? Delicious?
Yes, absolutely.
So you recommend to try?
Yes, yeah, of course.
What's about the price here? Is it very expensive to go out for a meal or transport?
No, if you compare the prices with the price you have to pay in Germany or Poland or wherever, it is rather cheap. But if you compare the prices with the income of the people of Ukraine, it is more difficult. So we're in a privileged position because we're coming from a very high price level to a lower price level. But in terms of a social justice, it's more difficult. You have to look deeper.
What restaurants or cafeterias can you recommend the tourists to go out?
If you want to have a real nice evening with Ukrainian kitchen, it's of course Dacha. If you want to have a real fancy evening with a view on the ocean, on the Black Ocean, go to
Чорноморочка. You mean in Arcadia? Arcadia, yeah.
In Arcadia. If you want to have the best chocolate cake in the whole of Ukraine, you have to go to Kompot, directly opposite of the musical hall. But there are so many coffee shops and very nice wineries in Odessa, in the old city. So there are plenty places to go.
Yes, big choice of them, yeah. And you told me about this situation in Privoz, our favorite, the biggest market in Odessa. They something heard you are from Germany. How
Yes.
it was?
It was somehow a nice experience because when they asked me where I'm from when I bought some stuff from there, and they always ask, okay, where are you coming from? And then I tell them, yeah, I'm from Hamburg, Germany, and they say, okay, so then don't give me 180, but just give me 150 hryvnia. And so they did a favor for me, but I feel bad because Germany is not doing what it could do for Ukraine. It does a lot, but it's not enough, and we could do more. So I was very pleased that they realized, that there is a relationship between the countries, and we're kind of supporting Ukraine. But still, I hope we can do better and more, and will do better and more.
And now about your experience of learning Ukrainian. Yes, was it hard for you? Did you learn Russian before in comparison with Russian? Was it hard for you? Can you tell us about that, please?
I learned Russian 30 years ago, and I almost forgot everything because I didn't practice it. So I started basically from scratch with Ukrainian. Very easy was the Cyrillic alphabet. that was not the problem. I think you have to to say that. But the whole structure of Ukrainian is kind of different to the German structure, and that means the Ukrainian language is like a mosaic. You know, you're putting together tiny bits and pieces. And in Germany, I have the feeling, I'm not really sure, but I have the feeling you have the main stones or main cobblestones, and you know, you just add a little bit in the sentences. But a Ukrainian sentence consists of a lot of delicate pieces, and some of them you can combine, but some of them you're not allowed to combine. And so you have to learn which fits together. That's on the one. And the other thing is that the Ukrainian language is full of examples and exceptions.
Exceptions.
So it's full of exceptions, and there are more exceptions than rules. And you have to stick with the exceptions. Otherwise, you won't get far with Ukrainian language. So it's fun. It's really nice to learn the language because you're discovering a lot of opportunities and possibilities how to use it. But it takes a lot of time. Well, it takes a little bit of time and practice, and you know, and good teachers who tell you, okay, this is a way you can say a sentence, or this is a way you can say a sentence, but the way you choose is not the right one. So something like that.
But you started speaking after 167 hours of study. Was it hard for you to study 8 hours a day? It's fantastic. It's the biggest amount of hours, lessons a day. How did you do that? So difficult thing. I have never seen it before.
Yes, but I'm learning the language for business reasons and not for a holiday. So I really have to get into, and that's the reason I choose that way with a fuller load of hours. But I had great teachers. So I had you, and I had
Thank you.
Nina,
Thank you.
This was really pleasant for me, a pleasant time. And I learned a lot about the country, the people, the grammar, the vocabulary, and stuff like that. The only thing I learned also, which I didn't like, is that I'm in an age where my head is not, you know, taking it so seriously as he did in my times at school, all the grammar and the vocabulary. So my head sometimes thinks...
So the problems of memory, yeah, memorizing, yeah? Yes, but what's the best method of memorizing for you? Now your vocabulary is not the biggest one, of course, but it's enough to explain something, to understand the people, yeah? And your intuition worked very well, yes? And what's the method, the best way to memorize?
Just speak, and get corrected. Build sentences one after the other, and you know, get feedback. Is this a correct sentence? Do the people understand you? And then you get along.
Mm-hmm. And but you want to continue the course, yeah?
Of course. Yeah.
To develop it, to improve your language, and to not to get the A1 level, elementary level, and step on the other level. Yes, of course. Yes, because you want to speak fluently, yeah?
I want to speak fluently, and I want to speak in business context. So I really want to continue, yes.
Mm-hmm. And you have been to Kiev and other cities in Ukraine. What is your language experience there? Did you speak Ukrainian?
I spoke Ukrainian everywhere.
Everywhere. So the people...
I tried to.
The people
But,
helped you, yes, to.
Yes, of course, and it is probably easier in the western part of Ukraine, just because the Ukrainian language is the only or the main language they're speaking there. So in Odessa, which is the formerly, more eastern oriented area, they have more Russian, but that's okay. So if you're coming along with Ukrainian, everybody's opening the doors to support you to get along, either with Ukrainian or with English or without any words, just with signs and a smile.
I understand the language situation in Odessa, not only Ukrainian as we talked about it, but I felt when we are in the supermarkets or cafeterias, they start to speak Ukrainian, yes, and if you don't understand, if they know English, if they know Russian, they help you, yes, to yes, and. Thank you very much for the interview, Florian. It's very important for us, your experience, your advice, and I would like to see you again in Odessa and with a cup of coffee or tea, as you like.
Of course.
Yeah.
I'll stop by as soon as I'm in the city the next time. I'll be in Odessa the spring, so we'll see again. Thank you.
Thank you, Florian.